Let's solve June 2025 Paper 1 questions. Let's start with Unit 7 Data Interpretation. The following table shows the cumulative percentage of the total number of students appearing in the Hindi and Punjabi examination and the cumulative number of students appearing in the Hindi examination and scoring marks in 5 different categories, namely 80 and above, 70 and above, 60 and above, 50 and above and 40 and above. Based on the data in the table, answer the questions that follow. Marks-wise distribution of students is given in the form of tabular column. The first column is about the marks, the categories 80 and above, 70 and above, etc. The second column is the cumulative percentage of total number of students who appeared in both Hindi as well as Punjabi. The third column is the cumulative number of students who appeared only in Hindi. There is a note given here. The first note, the total number of students who attended the exam is 1200. Why have they given this number is everything is in the form of percentage in the second column. The second note is no student failed in the examination, which means the number of students who appeared in the exam have actually passed the exam. The third note is each student appeared in only one exam, that is either in Hindi or in Punjabi exam. It means the Hindi's count is given in column 3. The column 2 is having the data of both Hindi and Punjabi, which means from this percentage, if you deduct Hindi number, you will automatically get Punjabi's number. This is the detail which gives us hint that column 2 has the count of both Hindi and Punjabi. Since they have given the count of Hindi separately in the third column, using the count of Hindi and Punjabi together, we will be able to derive Punjabi's count. Let's start with the first question. What is the sum of the number of students who scored 70 or more than 70? This is 70 and above, but less than 80 marks in Hindi, and the number of students who scored 80 or more than 80 marks in Punjabi. Actually, here you have to understand one thing. The count of students who appeared in Hindi exam is actually getting increased from top to bottom. This is given for out of 100. So this is 40 to 100 for this row, 50 to 100 for this row, 60 to 100 for this row, 70 to 100 for this row and 80 to 100 for this row. 70 or more than 70 but less than 80. It means greater than or equal to 70 and less than 80. This is the range they want. Between 70 to 79 is what they ask for the number of students in Hindi alone. What about the number of students in Punjabi who scored 80 or more than 80? This is 80 and above, that is greater than or equal to 80. This is directly asked. But in order to get Punjabi number, you have to work with the count of Hindi also. They are asking for the sum of both these count of students. So first we have to solve for the first part, then the second part, then find the sum. So the computation is actually a long process, but they are all simple computations is what I can tell you. But this will definitely take a lot of time when you attempt an examination. So first let's start with Hindi. 70 and above, that is from 70 to 100 we have 264 students and 80 and above is 108. In order to find 70 and less than 80, it means 70 and above as well as less than 80. Between 70 to 79, how will we find? We have to subtract 264 minus 108 will give a value of 156. So the Hindi category, the first part, the number of students who scored 70 and above but less than 80 will be 156. This count is equal to 156. This can be directly derived from the third column. Now we are getting into the Hindi and Punjabi part. They said who scored 80 or more than 80 in Punjabi. In order to find Punjabi, the only data that we have is column 2. So what we will do is we will first take 80 and above percentage from the second column. So 15% of the student have appeared in both Hindi and Punjabi. There are two clues here. One is the total number of student count is given as 1200. So this will be 15% of 1200 students. And they say no student failed in the exam. So when they say scored above, it means anybody who appeared in the exam have actually passed. And the next clue that we have is if they have appeared in Hindi, they would have not appeared in Punjabi. You will easily get Punjabi from Hindi plus Punjabi minus Hindi. So Hindi plus Punjabi is column 2, Hindi is column 3. When you minus these two column values, automatically you will get the count of Punjabi. This is the logic we are going to apply here now. First we have to find what is 15% of 1200. 15 by 100 into 1200. We will have zeros cancelling here. 15 into 12 will give a value of 180. Hindi and Punjabi together we have 180. Out of them we know this particular row has 108 people who passed in Hindi. From this we will be able to get Punjabi's count. 180 minus 108. This will give a value of 72. The number of students who scored 80 and more than 80 in Punjabi will be 72. So here we have Hindi's count as 156 and Punjabi's count as 72 for the given condition. Now the question is, what is the sum of these two counts? So we have to find the sum of Hindi passing students. The scores are between 70 to 79 and the Punjabi passed students, the score is 80 and above. So here the sum is equal to Hindi value will be 156 and Punjabi value will be 72. Overall we will get a value of 228. This is available in option number 2. Option 2 will be the right answer. Next question. What is the ratio of the number of students who scored 50 or more than 50 marks but less than 60 marks in Hindi? So in Hindi we have 50 to 59 category. To the number of students who scored 40 or more than 40 marks but less than 50 marks in Punjabi. So this is 40 to 49 range in Punjabi. So we are asked to find the ratio between these numbers. Let's start with the Hindi count first. How many people have appeared in Hindi? 50 and above scoring is done by 554 people. This includes the data from 50 to 100. Now we are getting the data of 60 and above from the same third column. It is 424 students who have appeared in Hindi. So from this, what is the range between 50 and 59? It will be 554 minus 424. You will get a value of 130. So 130 students lie between the range of 50 to 59 score for Hindi. This is very easy to calculate based on the third column because Hindi's value is directly given. Now the same strategy has to be applied in second column, picking the values of Hindi and Punjabi, and from there you have to calculate for Punjabi. So let's get into Hindi and Punjabi. For Punjabi's count, the range is between 40 to 49. So you have to consider these two rows. The count of 40 and above will be 100%. Since they said no student failed in the exam, that's why they have given 100% of people. What is 100% of 1200? It is 1200. When you have 100 divided by 100 into 1200, 100 and 100 will get cancelled and what remains is 1200. What about 50 and above? The percentage is 90%. So now we have to calculate 90 divided by 100 into 1200. We can cancel both the zeros. 12 into 9 is 108. So we will have a 0 here. 1080 will be the count of people who scored 50 and above in both Hindi and Punjabi together. So what is the range for 40 to 49 for both Hindi and Punjabi? It will be out of 1200 students, 50 and above category will be 1080. So when you subtract 1200 and 1080, you will get a value of 120. So we have to find the same set of data for Hindi now. Only then we will be able to detect it from 120. So let's get into Hindi. 40 and above data is 624. 50 and above data is, so the range of 40 to 49 for Hindi alone will be 624 minus 554, which will give a value of 70. So out of 120 students, 70 students have scored in Hindi. So for Punjabi count, the Hindi plus Punjabi count minus the Hindi count has to be taken, which is equal to 120 people minus the Hindi count is 70. 50 people belong to Punjabi category. So 50 students have scored between 40 to 49 only in Punjabi. Now what we have to find is the ratio. The ratio is Hindi for the range 50 to 59 to Punjabi for the range 40 to 49. This can be written as H is to P also. So here we can take this to be 130 is to 50. I can cancel both the zeros and we have a ratio of 13 is to 5 finally. Option number 4, 13 is to 5 will be the right answer. Next question. The number of students who scored 80 and above in Hindi, so this is 80 and above category, is how much percentage less than the number of students who scored 60 or more than 60 but less than 70 in Punjabi. Punjabi range is between 60 to 69. So Hindi's count can directly be taken, but for Punjabi count we have to work it out. Let's take Hindi's count. 80 and above we have 108 people. For Punjabi count we are getting into the second column. So they are asking between 60 to 69. So we have to take both these rows. 60 and above it will be 65% of 1200. 65 by 100 into 1200 will give a value of 780. 70 and above will be 35% of 1200. Here we have 35 by 100 into 1200. 35 into 12 will give a value of 420. So in order to find the range between 60 to 69, you have to subtract both these values. 780 minus 420 will give a value of 360. Now from this, we have to take Hindi value alone for the same set of values. Because in order to calculate Punjabi, you have to detect Hindi value. So for Hindi data, we have 60 and above as 424, 70 and above as 264. So to get the range between 60 and 69 for Hindi alone, we have to find the difference between 424 and 264. This will give a value of 160. So here the Hindi value will be 160 for the same range. Now we have to calculate for Punjabi. It will be 360 minus 160, which is equal to 200. So Punjabi count here will be 200. Now we have both the counts. For Hindi we have 108 and for Punjabi we have 200. There is a formula for percentage decrease. The higher value minus the lower value divided by the higher value. 200 and 108, we know 200 is higher. So take 200 minus 108 divided by 200. In order to find the percentage, we are multiplying it by 100. What is 200 minus 108? It is 92. 92 divided by 200 into 100. Now we can cancel the zeros. What is 92 divided by 2? It is 46 and this becomes the percentage. Option number 1, 46 will be the right answer. Here we should have it as percentage only. Only then I can apply the percentage here. Next question. What is the difference between the number of students who scored 70 or more than 70 but less than 80? The range is 70 to 79 marks in Punjabi, and the number of students who scored 40 or more than 40 but less than 50 in Hindi. This is 40 to 49 range. Here they are asking about Punjabi and Hindi difference. So again we have to work with the second column. Let's take the Hindi and Punjabi data. When they say 70 to 79, you have to pick the range of 70 and above and 80 and above. 70 and above is 35%. We have already found out 35% of 1200 is 420 in the previous question. What about 80 and above? 15% of 1200. This data is already found out in the previous question. This is 180. So to find the range between 70 to 79 in both Hindi and Punjabi, we have to subtract both the values. 420 minus 180 will give you the value of 240. This is Hindi and Punjabi together. From this we have to find Punjabi. So for this particular data we need Hindi values. 70 and above Hindi count is 264, 80 and above Hindi count is 108. This is 80 and this is 100, and here it is 70 to 100. This range is actually 108 and this range is actually 264. To find what is between these two range, you have to subtract 264 and 108. This is what we have been doing in the earlier problems too. So if you are stuck up somewhere why we are finding the difference, let me give a clarity here also. So here the range of 70 to 79 for Hindi will be 264 minus 108, which will give a value of 156. This is also already found in earlier question. From this you have to take the Punjabi value. So for the same range, Hindi and Punjabi will be 240. For the same range, Hindi will be 156. 240 minus 156 will give a value of 84. So the Punjabi value is 84. Now we have to find for Hindi for the range 40 to 49. 40 to 100 it is 624. 50 to 100 it is 554. 624 minus 554 will give a value of 70. This will be the Hindi value which is equal to 70. The question is about the difference between these two values. So to get the difference we have to subtract Punjabi minus Hindi. 14 will be the difference between both the values, and option 3 has 14. Option 3 will be the right answer. Next question. What is the average of the number of students who scored 50 or more than 50 but less than 60 in Punjabi? The range is 50 to 59 in Punjabi, and the number of students who scored 50 or more than 50 but less than 60 in Hindi. This is also the same range for Hindi. So this time we don't have multiple calculations, because once we calculate for Hindi we can apply it to detect from Hindi and Punjabi count. They are asking for the average. So here two values are taken and we have to find the average. Let's take this to be P and this to be H. Average of P and H will be P plus H divided by 2. Now first we will find the individual values. Let's start with Hindi and Punjabi in order to find Punjabi. So the range is 50 to 59. So we are considering these two rows. 50 and above will be 90% of 1200, which will give a value of 1080. We have already found it out. And 65% of 1200 also we have already found it out to be 780. So now the difference is 1080 minus 780, which will give a value of 300. So Hindi and Punjabi together will be 300 for 50 to 59. Now we have to take the Hindi value. 50 and above will be 554. 60 and above will be 424. 554 minus 424 will give a value of 130. This also we have already found out in the earlier question. So now Hindi's value will be 130. From this we will be able to get Punjabi's value. 300 minus 130 will give a value of 170. So Punjabi's value here is 170. Now we have to find the average. Average will be Punjabi plus Hindi divided by 2. 170 plus 130 divided by 2. 170 plus 130 will give a count of 300. 300 divided by 2 will give a value of 150. Option number 2, 150 will be the right answer. Actually, I will tell you, for this question, you need not get into these details at all. When you get Hindi and Punjabi together as 300, this will be the sum of students of both Hindi and Punjabi together. Without getting into these values, you can directly find the average from this. Hindi and Punjabi together makes 300. You have to find the average for this only. So since two items are involved, From here itself you can find 300 divided by 2 will give you 150. They have given the same range for Punjabi and same range for Hindi. When the ranges are different, you have to work it out in a long way. When the ranges are same and when you want to find the average, this detail is more than enough to find the average. What did we get on adding 170 and 130? It's 300. Only from 300 we are separating 130 and 170. With the count of 300 itself, you can find the average as 150. If the range is not same, then you have to find Punjabi count separately, Hindi count separately, and then find the average. So we have completed Unit 7 questions. Let's get into Unit 1 teaching aptitude. The role of a teacher in the simulation model is that of. In a simulation model, the teacher's main role is to explain the situation, rules, roles, objectives clearly to help students engage meaningful in the simulated activity. Why are they actually doing this? This will ensure clarity and sets the foundation for effective learning through simulation. So here the teacher has to explain everything. So explaining is the right term here. We will go with option number 1, explaining as the right answer. When you take designing, this is a part of instructional planning phase and it's not the role that happens in simulation model. What about describing? Actually, describing and explaining are same, but describing word lacks the instructional intent. It means when you are explaining something, you have to make it understandable to the students. When you are describing something, you are focusing on the content that you are talking. Describing is talking about the topic, explaining is making the other side understand. You cannot understand from description also, but once somebody explains, you can understand. You have to get the meaning between explaining and describing. What about choosing activity? This is also a part of curriculum design, but it's not the role of teacher in simulation model. Next question. The CBCS system, choice-based credit system in higher education, promotes. If you have done your semesters using CBCS system, you can answer this question. If you are not used to the CBCS system, then you definitely need a learning here. What happens in choice-based credit system? Rigid curriculum structure, flexibility in course selection, limited student choices, only theoretical learning. Choice-based credit system means the student is given more choice to choose from. When there are more choices, automatically rigid curriculum doesn't have any meaning. And since they are talking about choices, it is not about limited or unlimited and all. And it doesn't talk about theoretical paper or practical paper and all. So the only meaningful option is flexibility in course selection. The student can select any course that the student wants to learn. That can be from the same discipline or it can be interdisciplinary, is the biggest benefit of CBCS system. The choice-based credit system is designed to make higher education more student-centric by offering. Earlier, when you have elective courses in certain colleges or universities, what they will do is they will fix a particular faculty for the elective paper and the elective paper will be decided by the faculty. That is actually rigid curriculum structure. But after CBCS came into existence, the students were given option to select the elective paper. It means even when a particular faculty is appointed for that particular paper, the student can still choose another elective paper based on his choice. This is what CBCS system is doing to the student community. So it is more student centric. What does it offer? Wide range of elective courses across disciplines. Interdisciplinary learning opportunities are created. Credit accumulation and transfer between institutions. Sometimes even inter-institution courses can be taken in this system. Credit accumulation means every course is given a particular value as credit. So once you complete that particular course, that credit will be added to your final result. Customizable academic pathways based on student interest and career goals. Sometimes when you are into a mainstream of computer science but you have an interest in psychology or in forensics or even in English literature, you can just take an elective course from there, and if that works out very good, you can make a career out of that particular discipline. So from this we can mark option number 2, flexibility in course selection, as the right answer. Why are the other options wrong? The first option says it is having rigid curriculum structure. Actually, CBCS system is breaking the rigidity. It is not enforcing it. It expands the choices but does not limit them. This includes practical as well as skill-based learning, not just theory. Next question, arrange the problem solving strategy. Let me read the statements. Generate many possible solutions, determine how to implement the solution and evaluate the success of the solution, make a decision, evaluate each solution, define the problem. Any problem solving strategy will start with defining the problem, so E will be coming first. After defining the problem, for that problem we will be generating many possible solutions. So E will be followed by A. After generating many possible solutions, we have to evaluate each solution. It means whether this will work or not. That evaluation has to be done. So next we will go with D. After evaluating every solution, we have to make a decision on which solution are we going to choose. This will be C, and after making a decision we are sticking to a particular solution. Now we have to implement that particular solution. Determine how to implement the solution and evaluate the success of the solution is B. E, A, D, C, B will be the right sequence. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Next question, learning for all implies. Where does this particular statement come? The phrase learning for all is rooted in global education goals like UNESCO's Education for All and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Actually, this question can even appear in Unit 10 because it is a part of UN's Sustainable Development Goal, which is actually a topic in higher education system. So this question can also be expected there. So have a learning about this question. What does it actually aim about? Learning for all means it will include everybody as well as it will give equitable quality education to promote lifelong learning opportunities for everybody. So let's see the options. Inclusive education, equitable education, inclusive and equitable education, quality education, categorized based education. Here we have two key terms, inclusive and equitable. Since we have both the key terms in the same option here, we will go with option number 3, C only as the right answer. Now we will understand why A, B, D, E are not working out for this particular question. Actually, we can say A, B as the answer, but there is no option as A and B. In C, they have given both the key terms together, and so we are moving with C. Inclusive is important, but that doesn't address fairness or resource distribution. Equitable is missing. Similarly, equitable education focuses on fairness, but may not guarantee inclusion means not all are included. Somehow some people are excluded. So both these aspects are important in learning for all. What about quality education? This is quite important, but here it does not ensure access or fairness for all. It means not everybody is entitled to quality education. Learning for all does not focus on quality, it focuses on inclusiveness and equitability. What about categorized based education? This actually contradicts the idea of inclusion and promotes separation. When you categorize people, automatically you are against inclusive education. So definitely this is contradicting the idea of inclusion here, and this is actually promoting separation. You are insisting some kind of division there or some kind of categorization there. So E is also wrong. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. List 1 has learning styles and list 2 has strengths. Before matching these two lists, I'm going to give you the background behind the learning styles. We have David Kolb's experiential learning theory. In that we have concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation. There are 4 phases. Concrete experience is about doing or having an experience. Reflective observation is reviewing or reflecting on the experience. Abstract conceptualization is concluding or learning from the experience. Active experimentation is planning or trying out what you have learned. So, getting an experience, reviewing it, learning from it, and then trying what you have learned in a different experiment. From there, we have 4 kinds of learning styles. Experience is about having the experience, so it is more about feeling. Conceptualization is learning from the experience, it is about thinking. Reflective observation is you are watching. Active experimentation is doing. So feeling, thinking, doing, watching. How are we getting these learning styles? When you feel and do, it is accommodating, which combines concrete experience and active experimentation. What about feeling and watching? It is diverging learning style. What about thinking and doing? It is converging. Here you are feeling something and watching many things. You are actually diverging. And here you are thinking lot of things and doing one thing. It is converging. When it is thinking and watching, it is assimilating. Now you can get the meaning of all the learning styles and how have they evolved from learning theory key terms. In another question paper, these 4 terms can be replaced by the learning styles and they might ask you which 2 aspects of learning theory will contribute to this particular learning style. Now let's get into the matching. Convergent learners are problem solvers who prefer technical tasks and applying ideas in practical ways. They prefer technical tasks and apply ideas in practical ways is the clue with which we are going to map A to 2. Convergent means practical application of ideas. A is mapping to 2 in 2 of the options. Now we will get to divergent. Divergent learners are imaginative and excel in brainstorming and viewing situations from multiple perspectives because diverging is an aspect of watching. So they will be able to view a situation from multiple perspectives as well as they are imaginative. So the imaginative ability can be mapped to this particular key term here. B will be mapping to 4. B4 is available only in one option here. So we will go with option number 3 as the right answer. What is actually generation of ideas? When you view a situation from multiple perspectives, every perspective will contribute to a new idea. The matching list is about the learning style and the strength of that particular style. So when you adapt that particular learning style, what kind of outcome you are getting is what you have to take. When you are using convergent learning style, you will find practical application of ideas. When you are a divergent learner, you try to view the situation from multiple perspectives and you generate ideas for every perspective. What about assimilation? Assimilative learners focus on abstract concepts and logic, often building theoretical model because it is about abstract conceptualization and observation. Assimilation can be mapped to creating theoretical model. C maps to 1. C1 is here. What about accommodative then? Accommodative learners are hands-on and rely on intuition and experimentation, thriving in active experiences. So here it is about concrete experience and active experimentation which is accommodating. The difference between convergent and accommodative learners should be understood. They apply ideas in practical ways, that is different, and here hands-on means they keep doing something. So this can be equated to carrying out plans and tasks that involve students in new experiences. D will be mapping to 3. If I have given you the meaning of convergent, divergent, assimilative and accommodative through these statements and then mapped, the task would have been over. But why did I bring learning theory is to make you understand the idea behind accommodating, diverging, converging and assimilating. What characteristics actually coin the learning style that is given in list 1 must be known to you. The background of this question must be a learning for you. Only then any question related to this topic can be answered by you in other question papers. So we will stick to D3. A2, B4, C1, D3. Option 3 will be the right answer. We have completed Unit 1. Let's get on to Unit 2, Research Aptitude. What is exploratory research? Exploratory research is a type of investigation used when a problem is not clearly defined or when it is relatively new. Now we will go through every statement and find what kind of research it is. Along with exploratory research, 3 more terms are also used in this question. So let me give you that and then explain you. Let's take the first statement. It describes social situations, social events, social systems, social structures, etc. The researcher observes or studies and then describes what he found. So this is about describing from observation. This is descriptive research. This focuses on detailing what exists, not exploring unknowns. So it describes something, whatever is existing, that part is being described. So this is not exploratory. Second one, it studies subject about which either no information or limited information is available. This is perfectly exploratory. No information is where we can equate it to relatively new problem. Limited information is when the problem is not clearly defined. This is exploratory, and so we will mark option number 2 as the right answer for this question. So exploratory means when no information or limited information is there, at that time we explore. Next we will get into the third statement. It explains the causes of social phenomena. Describing the magnitude and nature of crimes committed by females in India is one aspect of female crime, but why do they commit crime is its explanatory aspect. From this particular term, you will be able to understand this is explanatory type of research. It seeks to explain causes, not explore possibilities. So when you are explaining the cause of something, why something is happening, that is explanatory research. What about the fourth one? It is based on common sense knowledge, based on the accumulated experience and beliefs of the people. See, when you have some kind of experiences and beliefs, you act upon your common sense only. So this is not a formal research method. So this can be equated to common sense knowledge as given in the statement here. So the right answer will be option 2. Now we will move on to the next question. This is asking what is explanatory research. From the previous question we have the same statements, but 1 and 2 statements have been swapped here. But let's get into the third statement directly. It explains the causes of social phenomena. Describing the magnitude and nature of crimes committed by females in India is one aspect of female crime. But why do they commit crime is its explanatory aspect, giving the cause for a social phenomena. This is explanatory. So we will mark option number 3 as the right answer based on the learning from the previous question. Explanatory research is a type of research that seeks to understand the cause and effect relationship between variables. This research goes beyond describing what is happening. It seeks to understand why it happens. Why do they commit crime is its explanatory aspect. This goes more than description. Description is whatever is existing, whatever you observe, you just describe. Explanation is you are trying to understand why such a thing is happening. It aims to explain why something happens or how different factors are connected in that particular issue. So from the previous question, we will be able to identify the other statements. The first one with no information or limited information is exploratory research. When it is describing what you observed, it is descriptive research, and the final statement will be based on common sense. So descriptive focuses on what is happening and not why. Exploratory is when little is known, it aims to generate ideas and it does not explain causes. And the final statement is not a formal research, it is based on beliefs and not systematic investigation. Since there is no systematic investigation involved, you cannot call this to be a formal research method. That's why the fourth statement does not belong to any category here. Next question. Standard deviation and coefficient of variation CV expressed as a percentage of different data sets are given in A to D below. Compute the mean of each data set and arrange in ascending order. First we have to compute the mean and then based on the value of the mean we have to arrange them in ascending order. Coefficient of variation is equal to standard deviation divided by mean into 100%. So we have CV is equal to SD divided by mean into 100%. So here mean is equal to standard deviation into 100 divided by coefficient of variation. Now we will take all the data sets. A has standard deviation 4, CV value as 40 by 9. B has standard deviation 5, CV value is 6.25. C has standard deviation 14, CV value as 70 by 3. D has standard deviation value 16 and CV is 160 divided by 7. From this we have to compute mean first. So standard deviation 4 into 100 divided by coefficient of variation. The denominator of the denominator will move to the numerator. So 4 into 100 into 9 divided by 40. So 10 will get cancelled, 4 and 4 will get cancelled, 10 into 9 will give a value of 90. What about B? We have standard deviation 5 into 100 divided by 6.25. 6.25 can be expressed as 25 by 4. When you divide 25 by 4, 4 6 are 24, then we have 10, 4 2s are 8. Then we have 2, 4 5s are 20. So 6.25 can be represented as 25 by 4. So how did we suddenly get this 25 by 4? It is very simple. 625 divided by 100 will be 6.25. 25 into 25 is 625. 25 into 4 is 100. This is how we got 25 by 4. So now we will convert this as 5 into 100 divided by 25 by 4. Now bring the 4 to the numerator since it is in the denominator of the denominator. So 5 into 100 into 4 divided by 25. So this will be 5 ones are and 5 5s are and 5 ones are and 5 20s are will be 100. That is 5 2s are 10 along with the 0. So what is 20 into 4? It is 80. If you don't understand what I write in the screen, it is well and good that you work it out in a piece of paper and then understand. Now let's get into C. We have standard deviation 14 into 100 divided by 70 by 3. This can be written as 14 into 100 into 3. The denominator of the denominator is getting into the numerator with 70. What is 14 5s are? It is 70 and 5 will get cancelled with 100 for 20. 20 into 3 will give a value of 60. What about D? Standard deviation 16 into 100 divided by 160 by 7. Bring 7 to the numerator. 16 into 100 into 7 divided by 160. 10 and 10 will get cancelled. 16 and 16 will get cancelled. 10 into 7 will give a value of 70. Now arrange it in ascending order. 60, 70, 80, 90. 60 is C, 70 is D, 80 is B, 90 is A. C, D, B, A is available in option number 2. Option 2 will be the right answer. Next question. Which of the following are the risks of plagiarism for the researcher who plagiarizes? Let's see the options first. Losing of inspiration, losing of obtained titles, destruction of obtained solutions, destroying the public image. Actually, when a researcher is undergoing this malpractice, there is nothing to lose from inspiration and all. Whoever is getting inspired, that person has nothing to do with this particular process. So A is completely meaningless. Let's take Destruction of obtained solutions. Actually, that solution was somebody's work. Plagiarized means you are actually copying the work from someone. How can we destroy somebody's solution? It is also meaningless. So from this, we will be able to understand what are the risks. Plagiarism can lead to revocation of academic degrees, awards or professional titles, which can be equated to B point here. A researcher caught plagiarizing may suffer irreparable damage to their reputation, lose trust within the academic community, and face public criticism or professional isolation. When some damage happens to their reputation and people lose trust, it is equivalent to destroying the public image. So this point is D. Option number 3, B and D only will be the right answer. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. List 1 has population mean and 1 divided by n summation of xi the whole square value. A similar kind of question was asked in previous year question paper also. List 2 has population standard deviation. This is the population standard deviation formula, summation of a particular data value minus mean the whole square divided by n is the actual formula. But they have given xi the whole square divided by n value as it is. So let's start working on it. What about A? Square root of what is summation xi square divided by n? It is 117 minus what is mu, the mean value, it is 9. So 9 square, this is 117 minus 9 square is 81. 117 minus 81 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. A has a value of 6. A will be mapping to 3. What about B? We have square root of summation xi square by n value is 200 and mean value is 10. So this is 10 square. 200 minus 10 square is 100. 200 minus 100 is 100. Square root of 100 is 10. B is mapping to 1. A3, B1 is available only in one option here. What about C? Standard deviation is equal to summation of xi square divided by n value is 202 and the mean value is 11. So we will have 11 square. 11 into 11 is 121. 202 minus 121 will have a value of 81. Square root of 81 is 9. C will be mapping to 4. What about D? Standard deviation is equal to square root of summation of xi square divided by n value is 160. Mean value is 12. So this is 12 square. 12 square is 144. 160 minus 144 will give a value of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. D will be mapping to 2. D2 is here. Option number 3. A3, B1, C4, D2 will be the right answer. We have completed Unit 2. We will move to Unit 4, Communication. Who directed the first talkie feature film made in India? The first talkie feature film made in India was Alam Ara and it was directed by Ardeshir Irani. Released in 1931, Alam Ara marked a revolutionary moment in Indian cinema by introducing synchronized sound to the screen. Ardeshir Irani. Option number 1 will be the right answer. Next question, who directed the first film made in India? The first full-length feature film made in India was Raja Harishchandra and it was directed by Dada Saheb Phalke, widely regarded as the father of Indian cinema. Released in 1913, Phalke also handled the screenplay, production, editing and even makeup. Since no women were willing to act in films at that time, male actors played female roles. Option number 2, Dada Saheb Phalke will be the right answer. Next question, what is the correct chronological order of the following television programs released on Doordarshan in India? From earliest to latest they have asked. So this is the list of program and the year of release. Mahabharata is A, Chandrakanta is B, Hum Log is C, Ramayana is D, Bunyad is E. So here the years are given. Hum Log is 1984, Bunyad is 1986, Ramayana is 1987, Mahabharata is 1988 and Chandrakanta is 1994. The order will be C, E, D, A, B. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Next question. What among the following films are directed by Satyajit Ray? Among the films listed, the ones directed by Satyajit Ray are Apur Sansar, released in 1959, which is B option. Aparajito, released in 1956, in D option. Pathar Panchali, released in 1955, that is in option E. Option number 1, B, D and E only will be the right answer. So far, whatever movies we have been seeing all belong to Hindi only. Here in this particular question, we have other two movies, Madhumati and Sujata. These films were directed by Bimal Roy. Whatever movies Satyajit Ray directed are Bengali movies, and the ones directed by Bimal Roy are Hindi movies. Students from various languages are attempting this exam, and definitely, except half of the population who have been preparing for other government exams like UPSC or Group 1, 2, 3, 4, any kind of examination, nobody would have even known who these people are. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. We have the meaning in list 1 and the terms in list 2. Who says what in which channel to whom? Who says what to whom using which channel? This who is the sender and to whom is the receiver. Says what is the message and which channel will be the medium. So who will be mapping to sender? Sender is nothing but the communicator. A will be mapping to says what is message. B is mapping to 3. In which channel is the medium? C will be mapping to 4. To whom is the receiver? D will be mapping to 1. So we will go with option number 3, A2, B3, C4, D1 as the right answer. We have completed this unit. We will move to unit 5, mathematical reasoning and aptitude. Find the number that can replace question mark in the series given below. 7, 12, 32, 122, 3602, 25202. First, let me try to solve this in a normal way, and then I will give you what expression or what formula it is using. First, let's take the number 7, 12, 32, 122, x 3602, 25202. What you can find here is everything is in the multiple of 5 plus 2. So what we will do is we will subtract minus 2 from all these columns. 7 minus 2 is 5, 12 minus 2 is 10, 32 minus 2 is 30, 122 minus 2 is 120, x is x minus 2, 3602 minus 2 is 3600, 25202 minus 2 is 25200. Now I think you will be able to find what kind of pattern it is following. 5 into 2 will give you 10, 10 into 3 will give you 30, 30 into 4 will give you 120, 120 into 5 will actually give you 600, 600 into 6 will give you 3600, 3600 into 7 will give you 25200. So from here we can find x minus 2 is equal to 600 based on the same flow that we have got from 5 into 2, 10 into 3. So from this you can take 600 plus 2, which is equal to 602. So x value is 602. So you can substitute 602 here, and here you will get 602 minus 2 as 600. Option number 1, 602 will be the right answer. Without much work, you will be able to find the answer using this particular method. But what is the actual way of solving this is, this 7, 12, 32, 122, what pattern can you find? When you keep multiplying the next numbers, what is a concept that we have already learnt is factorial. 1 factorial is 1, 2 factorial is 2 into 1, 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1. Here this is 2, this is 6. If you go in this pattern, You will have 1, 2, 6, 24, 120, 720, 5040. So this is nothing but 1. This is 1 into 2. This is 1 into 2 into 3. This is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. This is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this pattern only we are following here. Into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7. So let me break this down in this angle. This is 5 into 1, this is 5 into 2, this is 5 into 6, this is 5 into 24, this is 5 into 120, this is 5 into 720 and this is 5 into 5040. 5 is 5 into 1, 10 is 5 into 2, 30 is 5 into 6, 120 is 5 into 24, 600 is 5 into 120, 3600 is 5 into 720 and 25200 is 5 into 5040. What are these numbers? 1, 2, 6, 24, 120, 720, 5040. They are all factorials. So keeping 5 here, this can be equated to 1 factorial. This can be equated to 2 factorial. This can be equated to 3 factorial. This one is 4 factorial. This one is 5 factorial. This one is 6 factorial. And this one is 7 factorial. So what is this? 5 into n factorial. After that you are adding 2 to the answer. So it will be plus 2. This is the pattern of the series. So the sequence is 5 into n factorial plus 2. So let's substitute n is equal to 1. 5 into 1 factorial is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. N is equal to 2. 5 into 2 factorial plus 2. This is 10 plus 2 which is equal to 12. Just go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is n is equal to 5? 5 into 5 factorial plus 2. So 5 factorial is 120, 5 into 120 plus 2, 5 into 120 is 600, 600 plus 2 will give you 602, which we have found it out in another way also. You would have learnt about sequences in maths. So this is one such sequence, 5 into n factorial plus 2. So even if you don't find the pattern of factorial, just going with 5 into 2, 10 into 3, you will be able to find out what is x minus 2. So remember this is x minus 2. From x minus 2 you have to find x. You have to find the question mark. We have subtracted minus 2 and brought to this stage. So you have to add back that plus 2 and then find the number. It is 602. So you should be practicing lots of questions. Only then you will be finding out the breakdown of such patterns. Next question. In a certain code language, Noida is written as 1491514. India is written as 194149. How hello will be written in this language? Which number is getting repeated in both the places, Noida and India? 1 is getting repeated, 4 is getting repeated, 9 is getting repeated, 14 is getting repeated. Now 9 is 1 time here and 2 times here. I is occurring once here and twice here. From this we will be able to understand I is 9. In which code we will get I is equal to 9? It is the alphabetical order. What is 1? It is A. What is 4? It is D. What is 9? It is I. What is 15? It is O. And what is 14? It is N. Noida has been written in reverse code. Similarly, this is A, this is I, this is D, this is N and this is I. India is written in this way. So we have to find hello and then write it in reverse order, or just take O-L-L-E-H. Just reverse hello now. What is O? It is 15. What is L? It is 12. So we will have 12 two times. What is E? It is 5. What is H? It is 8. 15, 12, 12, 5, 8 will be the right answer. Option number 1 will be the right answer. If we take hello, the order will be 8, 5, 12, 12, 15, which is available in option 3. But this is hello and this is OLLEH. These codes are in the reverse order, so the answer should also be in the reverse order. So they have given in a certain code language, Noida is written in this way, India is written in this way. So hello should also be written in the same way. Next question, which of the following statements are wrong? So these are actually 4 different problems given to us. So let's start working on it. Let's start with A. A man runs at a speed of 20 km per hour and covers a distance of 400 meter. They say the time taken by the man to cover this particular 400 meter distance is 8 minutes. So let's first understand how to take time from the given speed and distance. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. And the speed is given in the form of kilometer per hour, but the distance is given in the form of meter. So we have to bring them to the same units first. So instead of kilometer, we will convert this to meter, and this hour should be converted to seconds. So kilometer has to be converted to meter and hours should be converted to seconds, because here they have given us 8 minutes. So instead of converting into minutes, we will just directly convert to seconds, and based on that we will find whether it is coming to 8 minutes or not. What is 1 hour? It is 60 minutes, and what is 1 minute? It is 60 seconds. So in order to convert hour to second, you have to multiply 60 into 60. One for minutes and another for seconds. So first let's convert the speed to meter per second. Speed is given as 20 km per hour. So let's take 20 as it is. 1 kilometer can be represented as 1000 meter, divided by hour can be represented as, it is per hour. So we'll go to the denominator, 60 into 60 seconds. So now we have the unit as meter per second. Let's cancel both the zeros here in thousands, and now we have 20 and 6. So 2 tens are 20, 2 threes are 6, 2 fives are 10 and 2 threes are 6. What is 10 into 5? It is 50, and what is 3 into 3? It is 9. We have speed is equal to 50 divided by 9 meter per second now. Now we have to find the time taken to cover 400 meter distance. So as per the question, the distance is given as 400 meter. Time is equal to 400 meter divided by, the speed is given as 50 divided by 9 meter per seconds. Now meter and meter will get cancelled. This per second will move to the numerator. So now the unit will be in the form of seconds. How should we evaluate this? 9 is in the denominator of the denominator. So we will bring it to the numerator. 400 into 9 divided by 50. Now we will cancel 0 and 0. What is 40 divided by 5? It is 8. So 5 8s are 40. What is 8 into 9? It is 72 seconds. 72 seconds means 1 minute and 2 seconds. This is actually only 1 minute, but here they have given us 8 minutes, which means that A is wrong. Any option that does not involve A can be ruled out because they are asking for wrong statements. What is 8 minutes? 8 into 60 will give 480 seconds. But here it is just 72 seconds, so definitely the answer is wrong. Next, we'll go to B statement. A person covers a certain distance at x km per hour and an equal distance at y km per hour. The average speed during the whole journey is 2xy divided by x plus y km per hour. When a person covers equal distances at two different speeds, the average speed is given by the harmonic mean formula. So harmonic mean formula is given by 2xy divided by x plus y. So this is the average speed, and since the unit is presented as kilometer per hour, it is in the same way. So we definitely know B is true now. So what is the total distance covered by the person? When the person takes x km per hour speed, the distance covered is D. This is for x km per hour speed. And for y km per hour speed, the distance covered is another D. So d plus d will give you 2d. This is the total distance that is mentioned here. We have to take the total time. The time can be taken as distance by speed. So the first distance covered is d at speed x. So this is given by d by x. We are using the same time formula here. Then the time taken at speed y can be written as d divided by y. What is the total time here? D by x plus d by y. So this is d by x plus d by y. Now we have to find the average speed. Speed can be taken as distance divided by time. So the total distance is given as 2d divided by the total time is given as d by x plus d by y. When you work this out, you will understand how it came to 2xy divided by x plus y. So we will find LCM. This is yd plus xd divided by xy, which is equal to 2d into xy divided by xd plus yd. Bring the d outside. So this is 2 into d into xy, and we have d taken out, and this is x plus y. D and d will get cancelled. So it is 2xy divided by x plus y. This is how we have got the average speed. So this is the detailed working of the problem. So B is perfectly true. So B is not a part of the answer. So option 2 is also ruled out. Now let's get into C. A cyclist covers a distance of 750 meter in 2.5 minutes. The speed of the cyclist is 18 km per hour. The same formula has to be applied again. To find the speed of the cyclist, we have to use the formula distance divided by time. See, when time is equal to distance divided by speed, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So what is the distance covered here? 750 meter. What is the time is given here? 2.5 minutes. So this can be taken as 2.5 minutes. Now we have to convert this minutes to hours. Once you have to convert this to hour, what you have to do? You have to divide this by 60. So 750 meter divided by 2.5 divided by 60. Now take this to the numerator. 750 into 60 divided by 2.5. So 2.5 can be written as 25 divided by 10. So 750 into 60 divided by 25 divided by 10. Bring 10 to the numerator because it is in the denominator of the denominator. 750 into 60 into 10 divided by 25. 25 3s are 75. So this is 30. So we have 30 into 60 into 10. So 3 6 are 18, and we have 3 zeros here. This is 18,000. 18,000 can be written in the form of 18 into 1000 meter per hour. What is 1000 meter? It is 1 kilometer. So we will have 18 kilometer per hour. The moment we used 2.5 divided by 60, here itself we have converted to hours. 1 minute is equal to 1 by 60 hours. 2.5 minutes is equal to 2.5 divided by 60 hours. This is what we did here in the denominator. So here itself it is converted to hour, and the meter is alone staying here. Now we are bringing the 1000 units separately here. So 1000 meter becomes 1 kilometer. So the speed is given as 18 kilometer per hour, which is perfectly correct here. So C is also correct statement. Since C is correct, we can also rule out option number 3. From this we know option number 1, A only will be the right answer. That is the only wrong statement. Now we will see how D is right. A speed of x kilometer per hour is equal to 5 into x divided by 18 meter per second. So let's take x as it is. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter, and 1 hour can be written as 60 into 60 seconds. So per hour can be taken as 60 into 60 seconds. So we will cancel both the zeros here. We have 2 5s are 10 and 2 3s are 6. So x into 5 is 5x, 3 into 6 is 18, and the unit meter per second will stay as it is. X kilometer per hour is equal to 5x by 18 meter per second is also correct. So instead of going with 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds, I am keeping 60 into 60 as it is so that we can work it out easily. Next question. When a producer allows 36% commission on the retail price of his product, he earns a profit of 8.8%. What would be his profit if the commission is reduced by 24%? Let's start. Let's assume the retail price of the product to be 100. Commission allowed is 36% here. So 36% of 100 will give you 36 as the answer. This 36% commission is on the retail price of his product and he earns a profit of 8.8%. So the selling price for the producer will be 100 minus 36, the commission value, which is equal to 64. The retail price of the product is 100. In that 36 rupees goes for commission. So the selling price is 64 actually. The cost price of this particular product has to be found out. This is equal to selling price divided by 1 plus profit percentage divided by 100. Now we have to get the selling price, which is 64, divided by 1 plus what is the profit percentage? 8.8 percentage divided by 100. 8.8 is actually 88 divided by 10. Now we will bring this particular 10 to the denominator and make this as 88 divided by 1000. We will have this as 88 divided by 1000. So this can be written as 64 plus, just find LCM. It is 1088 divided by 1000. So 1000 we are bringing to the numerator. 1000 plus 88 divided by 1000 will give you 1088 by 1000 here. Now this 1000 will be taken to the numerator because it is in the denominator of the denominator. 64 into 1000 divided by 1088. This will give a value of 58.82. You can ask me, why am I converting everything to whole numbers instead of decimal? See, having something in the denominator with decimal point, you have to divide it and adjust the decimal point accordingly, which is a tedious process. Instead, if you bring to integers like this, at least it will save some time on division is what I feel. So the cost price value will be 58.82. Now we have to reduce the commission by 24%. So the new commission value is 36% minus 24%, which is equal to 12%. So we are assuming the retail price product as 100. 12% of 100 is 12. So the new selling price for producer will be 100 minus, since the commission is reduced by 12 rupees, the new selling price is 88. The earlier selling price with 36% commission is 64 and now it is 88 rupees. Now we have to calculate the new profit. Selling price minus cost price. The selling price after reducing the commission is 88 and the cost price is 58.82. So 88 minus 58.82 will give a value of 29.18. Now we have to find the profit percentage. Profit percentage is equal to profit divided by cost price into 100. The profit is 29.18 and the cost price is 58.82 into 100. This is also having 2 decimal point. This is also having 2 decimal point. This can be written as 2918 divided by 100 and this value can be written as 5882 divided by 100. So this 100 and this 100 will go. So overall you will have 2918 divided by 5882 into 100 here. So this division will give you a value of 0.496 and this 100 will be retained as it is. So what will be the percentage now? If you multiply 100 to this particular decimal value, you will get 49.6%. This percentage is available in option 2. So option number 2 will be the right answer. Why do we take 100 rupees as retail prices? We are computing the percentage everywhere in the question. So if we take with 100 value, it will be easy for us to get with the percentage again. So the commission allowed on the retail price is 36%, which is equal to 36 now. The selling price is computed by subtracting retail price and commission value. So this is given by 100 minus 36, which is equal to 64. So the same process we are using it for new selling price calculation. The commission is reduced by 24%, means out of 36%, 24% is removed. What is the new commission now? It is 12%. The new commission value in terms of 100 rupees retail price will be 12 rupees. Now the new selling price is calculated as retail minus commission. Retail is 100 still. What is the new commission value? It is 12. So now we get 88. These two processes are same, but just with the reduction of commission we are calculating it again. We have the profit of 8.8%. From that we are trying to take the cost price using this particular formula. So take the question like this. For 36% commission, the profit is 8.8%. For 12% of commission, what is the profit percentage? This is the question. Now they have asked just profit, but the answer is given in terms of percentage. That's why after calculating the profit, we are finding the profit percentage. Next question. A sum was put at simple interest at a certain rate for 3 years. Had it been put at 1% higher rate, it would have fetched 5,100 rupees more. They are asking us to find the sum. So this is with respect to simple interest calculation. We have the formula P into R into T divided by 100. P is the principal, the sum we need to find. R is the rate of interest and time is the time period which is given as 3 years. They have given it at certain rate and the increment is alone given as 1% higher rate. So we don't know what is R, what is P. We have the value of T alone here. So we have to calculate simple interest for 3 years with R rate of interest and then calculate another simple interest at 1% higher rate. So let's take simple interest 1 at 3 years time. This is given by principal P into rate of interest is R, the time is 3 divided by 100. Now we will have simple interest 2 at rate R plus 1%. Now this can be taken as P into the rate of interest is 1% higher. So rate of interest will always be given in the form of percentage. When it is 1% higher, we can take this to be R plus 1 and the time is again 3. When it is for R rate of interest, there is a particular interest. When there is 1% higher, they say it has an extra value of 5,100. It means the difference between both the rates will be 5,100. So the difference value is given as 5,100. That is what they say, it has fetched more. The R plus 1 rate of interest minus R rate of interest is fetching 5,100 more. So what is this R plus 1 simple interest? It is given by SI2 minus the R rate of interest is SI1. This value is equal to 5,100. We have a value named 5 and when it is put at a higher rate, we have a value 7. They say the difference is 2. How did we find the difference? We subtracted 5 from 7. So this is 7 minus 5. If this is going to be simple interest 1 and this is going to be simple interest 2 and this is going to be 5,100 the difference. Now how should we subtract this? Simple interest 2 minus simple interest 1 will be the subtraction order. So what is simple interest 2? It is P into R plus 1 into 3 divided by 100 minus simple interest 1 is P into R into 3 divided by 100. This will give a value of 5,100. Now what is constant here? P into 3 divided by 100 is constant here. So this can be written as 3 into P or P into 3 divided by 100. And now we will take R plus 1 here and this subtraction R will retain as it is. This is equal to 5100. Now we will keep 3p as it is and we will take 100 to the other side. R and minus R will get cancelled, only 1 will remain. So 3p is equal to 5100 into 100. So what is p here? 5100 into 100 divided by 3. 3 17s are 51. So along with 17 we have 4 zeros. So what is the principal amount? It is 1,70,000, which is available in option number 1. Option 1, 1,70,000 will be the right answer. We are actually using the difference between these two formulas and equating it to 5100 because they have given it would have fetched this much amount more. With this we are completing Unit 5 questions. Let's get into Unit 6 logical reasoning. Which of the following statements contradict each other? We have to find the contradictory statements now. Every S is P and some S is not P are contradictories. No S is P and some S is P will be contradictories. So when they say everything is something but they deny some of it are not, that will become contradictory. When they say nothing is so but something is so, that is contradictory statements. Here all ducks are birds, some ducks are not birds. This is equivalent to every S is P and this is equivalent to some S is not P. A and C are contradictories here. So we can mark A here and C here. What about the other way? Some ducks are birds. This is B. No ducks are birds will be D. So B and D are contradictories. Now we have to choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below. A and D are not, B and C are not, B and D are contradictories, C and D are not. So along with B and D, even A and C are contradictories. For this question we are marking option number 3, B and D only as the right answer. Since the other set of contradictories are not given in the options, we are sticking to one set of contradictories here. Next question, if the statement no birds are animals is given as false, which of the following statements can be inferred to be true? This particular statement is given as false. They are asking which statements can be inferred to be true. Inferred means it's a conclusion drawn from evidence or reasoning. Not inferred means a conclusion that cannot be logically drawn from the given information. When they say no birds are animals is equal to false, it means some birds are animals is true. So here some birds are animals, D can definitely be inferred from the given statement taken to be false. Apart from that, we have to check the other statements A, B and C also. So let's start from A. Some animals are not birds. This is generally true but not directly inferred from the falsity of the original statement. Let's take B. B states that some birds are not animals. This doesn't follow necessarily from the original statement being false. What about some animals are birds? This statement is quite logically equivalent to D1 and we know D is already the answer. This is logically equivalent to D. If some birds are animals, then some animals are also birds here. In that we can even choose C. What about D? This is directly implied by the falsity of the original statement. So D is directly taken to be the inferred statement. Since C is equivalent to D, we can say that both C and D statements can be inferred to be true given that no birds are animals is false. Option number 2, C and D only will be the right answer. I gave you the reason why A and B cannot be right. They are talking about some birds are animals. In that some animals are birds can be true, but there is no information about the negated part. When they say this particular E part is false, it means the contradictory will be true. So here they say some S is P, which means some birds are animals, which is given in statement D. Next question. This is the richest fraternity on the campus. What is fraternity? It's a group of people sharing a common profession or sharing some kind of common interest. So let's see the statement. This is the richest fraternity on the campus. Therefore, Mr. X, who is a member of this fraternity, must be one of the richest young man on the campus. Which fallacy is involved in this argument? They say this particular group is the richest group, and so they conclude that Mr. X, who is a member of this group, must also be one of the richest young man on the campus. Here they are talking about the richest group, that is they are talking about something in group, and here the conclusion is taken for something individually. So this is definitely a fallacy, but they are asking what fallacy is involved. Let's start with fallacy of division. This occurs when someone assumes that what is true of a whole must also be true of its parts. This can be equated to this particular statement. What is true for a group must also be taken to be true for an individual. This is what is happening in the statement. Since we take the richest fraternity on the campus, they say that this person who is a member of the fraternity must also be rich. This is exactly the fallacy of division. Option number 1, fallacy of division will be the right answer. What about fallacy of irrelevant conclusion? This occurs when an argument proves something but not the point it was supposed to prove. The conclusion may be true, but it's off topic or misses the point. It means it is proving some other thing, but it is not proving what it has to prove. When the conclusion does not logically follow from the premises, but it is coming in a different way. Here they don't say the conclusion is false, the conclusion is still true, but it is not logically following the premises is what they say. So here we can say fallacy of irrelevant conclusion has no relevancy to this particular statement. What about red herring? Red herring introduces an irrelevant topic to divert attention from the original issue. This is not there. What about slippery slope? This assumes that a small first step will inevitably means unavoidingly, lead to a chain of related events with extreme or undesirable outcomes without sufficient evidence. We have already discussed about all these fallacies in the previous year question papers with relevant examples. So for this question we are sticking with fallacy of division. The fraternity described is the richest on the campus. The argument is assuming that X, being a member of that particular fraternity, must also be one of the richest young man on the campus. This is a faulty reasoning. Just because the group is wealthy, that doesn't mean every individual in that group will also be wealthy. Mr. X could be an exception also. So this is the reasoning behind why we are selecting option 1. So we will even rule out option 4. Next question. Arrange the following in order of increasing extension. Social science, political science, science, politics of international relations. So let's start with science. We know from science we have lots of divisions in science. One of the divisions will be social science. In social science, we study about politics, so political science will be a part of it, and inside politics, we will have the discipline of international relations. So this will be the order, but here they are asking us to arrange it in increasing extension. Increasing extension means you have to start from the small group and then keep expanding it. If you take science, it's a broad group, but international relations is the small group they are saying. This is having the widest extension and this is having the least extension. So the answer must be arranged in this order. Science is C, social science is A, politics is B, and international relations is D. You will have an order of CABD also, but they are asking in increasing extension order. So this is not the right order, this is the reverse order. Politics of international relations is a specialized subfield of political science focused on global political dynamics. So we will start with D. Then political science. It's a broader discipline that includes various subfields like political theory, comparative politics and international relations. So this international relations is just a subset of political science. So next we will have B. Then we'll get into social science. It's a larger umbrella that includes political science, sociology, economics, anthropology, etc. Then we will have A. Science will be the broadest category encompassing natural sciences, which is physics, biology, formal sciences, which is mathematics, logic, and then we have social sciences. This science category will be the broadest category. We have C here. So this will be in the order of increasing extension. Option number 4, DBAC will be the right answer. D has the least extension, which is most specific, and C has the greatest extension, which is most general. So increasing extension means we have to move from specific to general. Next question, according to the classical Indian school of logic, which of the following instruments of knowledge is defined as the knowledge of the relation between a word and its denotation and is produced by the knowledge of resemblance or similarity? So we have already learnt about resemblance or similarity as well as the relation between word and its denotation in the previous year question papers. Upamana is the right instrument here. Upamana is one of the recognized pramanas. Pramanas means means of knowledge. It refers to acquiring knowledge through comparison or analogy, especially when learning the relationship between a word and its denotation by recognizing similarity or resemblance. We have all the keywords that is present in the question statement here. So we will go with option number 3, Upamana as the right answer. Upamana means comparison. Now we will see about the other options. Pratyaksha, which means perception. It is direct sensory experience and there is no involvement of comparison here. So one is ruled out. What about Anumana, inference? We have learnt about Anumana and Sabda in previous year question papers. Regarding Anumana, logical reasoning from premises is needed because Anumana is about inference. It is not based on resemblance or similarity. So we can rule out inference also. What about Sabda? It is knowledge from reliable authority or scripture and not through similarity. It is verbal testimony. If somebody in a higher authority is going to tell you something, we take it as a knowledge. If some good scripture is going to mention that, we take it as knowledge. So Sabda is about verbal testimony and not something that we gain through similarity. So Sabda is also ruled out. Whenever you learn about such instruments of knowledge, it's always better after knowing the answer. You can know why others are not the answer, because this is how you can learn logical reasoning little by little. We are completing unit 6 here. Let's move on to unit 8, information and communication technology. Which of the following is an example of IEEE 802.3? 802.3 is the standard that defines Ethernet, which is the most widely used technology for local area networks. It specifies how data is transmitted over wired connections, including the physical and data link layers. LAN typically uses Ethernet for fast, reliable communication within a small geographic area like a home, office or campus. Option number 1, LAN will be the right answer. For metropolitan area network, the standards will be 802.6, but now it is no more. It is meaningless. For wide area network, we use protocols like MPLS, ATM or IP, and it is not 802.3. For personal area network, we use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So that standards for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are mentioned here. This one was asked in paper 2 unit 9 matching list. So have an idea about such standards so that it will be useful for you in some other question paper. Next question, which of the following technologies is used in second generation of computer? This kind of question was asked in the previous year question. They have asked us to arrange it according to the generation from first one to fourth one. Here they are specifically asking for second generation. So the first generation is about vacuum tubes. The second generation is transistors. The third generation technology will be ICs, integrated circuit. The fourth generation is about VLSI, very large scale integration, and the fifth generation is ultra scale large integration, which is ULSI. So what is the second generation technology? It is transistors. Option number 2, transistors will be the right answer. Next question, which of the following is correct sequence of increasing access time of storage or memory devices? It was a paper 2 question quite for a few sessions. Now it's a part of paper 1. What is increasing access time? Say for example, if you are fetching a data in 1 second and you are fetching a data in 10 seconds. This is increasing order. Whichever is taking fast will be placed first and whichever is taking slow time will be placed last. So access time is faster in the top part and slower in the bottom part. So let's take magnetic tape. It is in the bottom. So it will come in the final. What about random access memory? That is RAM. It is the main memory. So we will place B here. What about cache memory? It is the cache here. Hard disk is here and registers are here. If you take which part takes very short access time, it is the registers. It will fetch the data in 1 second while magnetic tapes will take more than that. So the order in increasing access time will be from fast to slow, because in fast the time is less, in slow the time is more. So we have to move from less to more, that is increasing order. The order will be E, C, B, D, A. Option number 3, E, C, B, D, A will be the right answer. Next question, with reference to cyber attacks, which of the following statements are correct? Let's see about malware. Malware refers to any software intentionally designed to cause damage, disrupt operation, disrupt means to disturb, or gain unauthorized access to systems. What are the categories of malware? Viruses, worms, Trojan horse, ransomware and spyware. Viruses will actually replicate and attach to files. Worms will spread independently. Trojan horses disguise themselves as legitimate software. Ransomware locks data and demands payment. That's why it is ransomware. Spyware secretly monitors user activity. Let's see the statement A. Malware is a malicious software designed to cause damage to a single computer, server or computer network. It is perfectly true. So they are asking which are correct statements. A is right. What about B statement? Types of malware include computer viruses, worms, Trojan horses, ransomware and spyware. The categories are also right. So B is also right. And what about D? India is not a signatory to the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. India has not signed the Budapest Convention due to concerns over sovereignty and data sharing. So when they say it's not a signatory and it has not signed, both mean the same. So D is also right. So from here we can take A, B, and from here we can take D. What about C? Pegasus is spyware and not ransomware. So from this we can say C is false. It is designed to secretly monitor and extract data from devices without the user's knowledge. So this is one kind of spyware and not ransomware. So here we know C is definitely wrong. Option number 4, A, B and D only will be the right answer because they are asking for the correct statements. Next question, match list 1 with list 2. List 1 has the operating system and list 2 has the task. Unix, MS-DOS, Android OS, utility programs. We know Android OS is for mobile device. C will be definitely mapping to 2. C2 is available in 2 of the options. Single user OS, multi-user OS, it should be between these two. When you take utility programs, it is to assist, it means to help users in system maintenance tasks. So D will be mapping to 1. D1 is available only here. So with that itself we can mark option 3 to be the right answer. What about Unix and MS-DOS? If you are belonging to the latest generation, if you have just completed college, I don't know whether you will be knowing about MS-DOS. It is actually a single user operating system. B will be mapping to 3 and Unix is a multi-user operating system. A will be mapping to 4. A4, B3, C2 and D1 will be the right answer. So let's see a statement on all the operating system terms here. Unix is designed for multi-user environments often used in servers and workstations. MS-DOS is a command line based single user OS from the early PC era. So it does not have a desktop version like Windows and all. It is completely command line based. Android OS powers smartphones and tablets optimized for mobile use. Utility programs include tools like disk cleanup, antivirus and file management that are perfect for system maintenance. With this we are completing Unit 8 questions. Let's move to Unit 9 People Development and Environment. Which of the following are true about coliform bacteria? They are used to test water contamination. Coliforms are commonly used as indicator organisms to assess the sanitary quality of water. Their presence suggests that other harmful pathogens might also be present. So, are they used to test water contamination? Yes. Coliform bacteria are harmless and cause no disease. While many coliforms like Escherichia coli strains are harmless, some types, especially pathogenic strains like E. coli, this one, can cause serious illness. So we are going with most coliforms are harmless. So we can say that even B is true. These are just exceptions. So we are only considering this particular part. Next statement. They are found naturally in human intestinal tract. Coliforms, especially Escherichia coli, are part of the normal gut flora in humans and warm-blooded animals. C is also true. Their presence in water is an indication of fecal contamination. Detecting coliforms, especially fecal coliforms in water, often signals contamination by fecal matter which could carry dangerous pathogens. So when they are used to test water contamination, definitely their presence will be an indication of fecal contamination. D is also true. All the 4 statements are true. So we are going with option number 4, A, B, C and D to be the right answer. What are pathogens? I just want to describe what the term is about. Pathogens are organisms or biological agents that can cause disease in another organism. They include various types such as bacteria, viruses, fungi and parasites. Pathogens invade their host, often evading the immune system and can lead to infectious diseases. If they are getting into a human, they will first try to destroy the immune system and through that only they will spread the infection. So this is just an idea about pathogens because we are using the terms here in explanation. So I thought it will be useful for you. Next question. Why is the concentration of carbon dioxide is more in the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere? So they are saying about land mass, ocean body, fossil fuel and the cold climate in both the hemisphere. So let's see one by one. So the A statement says land mass is more in the northern hemisphere. More land means more human activity. Cities, industries, transportations all contribute to carbon dioxide emissions. They are saying why CO2 is concentrated in the northern part than the southern part. More land means land mass is more land. It means more human activities are present. So when there are cities, so there will be industries and because of industries there will be lots of transportations. All these will be contributing to carbon dioxide emission. So definitely A is a reason. What about B? This is ocean body in southern hemisphere. Oceans absorb CO2, so the southern hemisphere with more ocean acts as a stronger carbon sink, reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. Since ocean body is more in southern part, oceans will absorb CO2. That is why compared to northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere has low concentration of CO2 is what they say. So this will reduce atmospheric CO2 levels. So in this case B is also true. They have given one reason why it is concentrated in northern hemisphere and why it is less in southern hemisphere. What about C? Fossil fuel is burnt more in northern hemisphere. Most of the world's population and industrial activity are concentrated in northern hemisphere. We already saw this statement. This leads to higher fossil fuel combustion. C is also definitely a reason. What about D? Northern hemisphere is colder than the southern hemisphere. While temperature differences exist, they don't directly explain the carbon dioxide concentration disparity. When they said ocean body, they say how oceans absorb CO2 and reduce it in atmosphere level. When they say about land, they say more activities contribute to CO2 emissions. When they said about fossil fuel, they say how they contributed to CO2. But this temperature is not directly being a cause of CO2 concentration. So D is not a proper reason. In that case, we will go with option number 3, A, B and C only as the right answer. Next question. Increasing the ratio of fissile uranium U-235 in natural uranium is known as. Increasing the ratio of fissile uranium in natural uranium is known as uranium enrichment. Option number 4, enrichment will be the right answer. Natural uranium contains about 0.7% U-235, that is fissile uranium, which is the fissile isotope. The rest is mostly uranium-238, which is not fissile. Enrichment increases the percentage of U-235 to levels suitable for use in nuclear reactors. It will be typically between 3 and 5% or in nuclear weapons, which is over 90%. So in natural uranium, the content of U-35 is just 0.7, while the rest is uranium-238. Enrichment means you are increasing the levels. So here enhancement, concentration, accumulation are not the right terms, but enrichment is the right term here. We have some common enrichment methods. Gas centrifuge, most widely used today. Then gaseous diffusion, it's an older method. Laser isotope separation, it is an experimental method as of now. So we have seen a term called fissile isotope. What is fissile isotope? It's a type of atomic nucleus that can undergo nuclear fission when struck by a low energy, that is by a thermal neutron, and can sustain a chain reaction which is key for nuclear reactors and weapons. When you take a lengthy cracker, once you just burn the corner, it keeps on giving a chain reaction and it will complete bursting everywhere. Similarly, take it for nuclear weapon. This fissile isotope can undergo nuclear fission when it is struck by a thermal neutron. So this can sustain chain reaction, which is actually a key factor in nuclear reactors and nuclear weapons. So that is fissile isotope. So here they say natural uranium has only 0.7% of that fissile isotope. When you are increasing the percentage of fissile uranium, that is called as enrichment. Next question. What is the correct sequence from initial to final of surface wastewater treatment? The surface water treatment process is designed to progressively remove physical, chemical and biological contaminants. The first step will be screening, which is D. This removes large debris like leaves, sticks, trash using metal screens or grates. After screening, we'll get into sedimentation, which is B. This allows heavier suspended particles to settle out by gravity in large basins. Then we are getting into filtration, which is C. Water passes through layers of sand, gravel or other media to remove finer particles and some microorganisms. After that, we are getting into disinfection stage, where chemicals like chlorine or ozone are added to kill remaining pathogens and ensure safe drinking water. This will be A. D, B, C, A. Option number 4 will be the right answer. Next question. Which of the following are differences between modified Mercalli scale and Richter scale? When you hear the term Richter, what comes into your mind? It's definitely earthquake. Let's take A. Richter scale measures the energy released, while modified Mercalli scale measures both energy and devastation. Richter scale measures energy released. That is fine. But modified Mercalli scale does not measure energy. It measures observed effects like shaking, damage and human perception. When they say devastation, it includes the term damage here, and though it does not directly measure energy, in the given statement they say it measures some observed effects. So this is also a form of energy we can take. So here we can go with the statement, this scale measures observed effects like shaking, damage and human perception, which can be taken to be both energy and devastation. So definitely A is right, because Richter scale will measure only the energy, while MMS will measure both energy and devastation. What about the second statement? Richter scale uses linear scale, while modified Mercalli scale uses logarithmic scale. This is actually false. Richter scale is logarithmic. Each whole number increase represents approximately 10x amplitude and 32x energy. This is all approximate values. So Richter scale is logarithmic and modified Mercalli scale is linear, ranging from 1 to 12 based on observed effects. So here both the scales are swapped, so B is definitely wrong. Any option involving B can be ruled out. What about C? Value of Richter scale is constant in an earthquake, while modified Mercalli scale varies depending upon distance. This is true. Richter scale gives a single magnitude value for an earthquake based on seismic energy, because it is going to measure only the energy released. Modified Mercalli scale measures intensity, which depends on location, distance from epicenter and local conditions, so it varies. So for example, overall we can say this is the 7.3 Richter or 8 Richter for earthquake, but the intensity can be more in one particular location and less in another particular location. So based on that, this particular statement is also true. What about D? Levels in Richter scale is more than modified Mercalli scale. MMS has 12 levels, 1 to 12, while RS typically ranges from 2.0 to 10.0. It is not about the number of levels, it is about what they measure. Richter scale is continuous and can go beyond 10, but modified Mercalli scale has fixed categories. Levels are present only in modified Mercalli scales. Taking that into consideration, we can say D is wrong, because Richter scale is continuous and levels are present only in Mercalli scale. So we will remove even option 3. Option number 4, A and C only will be the right answer. In some educational simplified materials, MMS might be loosely described as reflecting energy because stronger shaking implies stronger energy, but scientifically it is not a direct measurement of energy. It is a qualitative assessment of impact. In some educational materials, they are mentioned stronger shaking implies more energy. Actually, it is not a direct measurement of energy. These educational materials are nothing but paper-1 materials of UGC NET books. Other than that, modified Mercalli scale will not measure energy, it will measure the observed effects only. Due to this material only, this question includes both energy and devastation, and then they mark this to be right. But scientifically, shaking is not a direct measurement of energy, it's just a qualitative assessment of impact. We will complete Unit 9 here. Let's move on to Unit 10, Higher Education System. In an ancient period, the Diksha Guru performed his duty as. The Diksha Guru was responsible for spiritual initiation, especially during the Upanayana ceremony, which marked the beginning of formal education for boys in Vedic tradition. They are responsible for spiritual initiation, which means spiritual guide is a proper term here. It's not about subjects or tutoring here, it's spiritual guide, and they have mentioned very well that formal education for boys. So spiritual guide of boys and not both boys and girls. Option number 3, spiritual guide of boys will be the right answer. This role was deeply rooted in guiding boys into spiritual life, imparting mantras and preparing them for their duties as students and seekers of knowledge. Girls in most ancient traditions did not undergo the same formal initiation rites, which is why the Diksha Guru's role was typically limited to boys during that period. That's why the answer includes only boys. Next question. Which international organization coordinates the Education for All program at the global level? Education for All, this statement we already saw earlier in this video. So let's first see the expansion of all these acronyms. UNDP is United Nations Development Program. UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. IMF is International Monetary Fund. UNEP is United Nations Environment Program. So which organization coordinated this Education for All program? It is UNESCO. Option number 2, UNESCO will be the right answer. UNESCO is the lead agency that coordinates the Education for All program globally. It plays a pivotal role in shaping international education policies, promoting lifelong learning, and ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education for all. What about UNDP, IMF and UNEP? What do they do? UNDP focuses on development and poverty reduction, not specifically education. So it's a development program organization. IMF deals with global financial stability and economic policies. The name itself has monetary fund. What about environment program? It is dedicated to environmental issues. Next question. Arrange the following events in the correct chronological sequence. So we will start with A. Establishment of the University of Madras. It was in 1857. Introduction of the Indian Universities Act. It was in 1904. Establishment of UGC is 1956. First National Educational Policy of India is 1968. And what is the latest National Education Policy here? It is 2020. They are asking for correct chronological sequence and it is already arranged in sequence. ABCD will be the right order. So we will go with option number 1 as the right answer. Next question. As per National Education Policy 1986, the major functions of the National Apex Body are. So let's see what are the functions from these options. To allocate resources, to advise government on policy, to encourage interdisciplinarity and promotion of interfaces among different areas. So we have A, C and D. Option number 4, A, C and D will be the right answer. To evaluate the examination system and to conduct research in higher education. They are not the major functions with respect to NEP 1986. Next question. Match list 1 with list 2. List 1 has name of the institutions and the functions are listed in list 2. Let's start with one by one in list 1. NIEPA, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, focuses on educational research and capacity building. RUSA, Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, is a government initiative aimed at improving infrastructure in higher education. QAA, Quality Assurance Agency, ensures academic standards and quality. HEFA, Higher Education Financing Agency, provides financial support through loans for capital expenditure in institutions. Now let's get into list 2. Providing loans to higher education institutions is what you can find in Higher Education Financing Agency. So D will be mapping to 2. D2 is available here. What about Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan? It's about improving infrastructure. So infrastructure development for upgrading the existing colleges into model colleges, where we involve infrastructure term, will be mapping to RUSA. So B will be mapping to 3. B3 is available in option 4. So this one cannot be the answer and we will rule out 1 and 2 also. What about QAA? It is academic standards and quality. Ensuring quality is in first option of list 2. So C will be mapping to 1. What about NIEPA, the National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration? This is mapping to promoting research in planning and management. The name itself has educational planning and administration. So taking them to be the clues, we can map A to 4. A4 is available here. Option number 4, A4, B3, C1, D2 will be the right answer. We are completing Unit 10 here. Let's move to Unit 3, Comprehension. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions. Forced by circumstances and in search of success and status, educated young men and women settle far away from their parents. Some go abroad. The very education that the parents manage to give to their children turns against them in the end. Their children go away in search of green pastures, leaving them alone. International community as well as our government is aware of their problems. The UNO proclaimed the year 1999 as International Year for the Aged. In our own country too, the year 2000 was proclaimed the year for the aged. Article 41 of our Constitution clearly makes it incumbent. What is incumbent? It makes it necessary to perform as a duty or responsibility on the state to look after the aged. There is a social welfare ministry responsible for the welfare of the aged. Laws are made from time to time to protect the rights of senior citizens. For example, under law, parents cannot be evicted from a house without due process of law under section 105 of the Criminal Procedure Code. A magistrate can order a person to maintain his or her old parents under the Maintenance of Parents Act. The Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act says that the aged parents can demand for maintenance from their children. The Domestic Violence Act also provides parents with the rights to seek relief from any kind of abuse. So the first paragraph states that young men and women who are educated, they settle far away from their parents. Actually, when they go abroad, they leave their parents alone here. So they are trying to say the education which parents are struggling so much to give to their children are finally turning against them in the name of success and status. The children are leaving. So they are mentioned about the article and under what law, what process can happen in the second paragraph. Now let's start with the first question. According to passage, who usually leaves their parents in lurch? Leave somebody in lurch means to be abandoned or left without help in a difficult or inconvenient situation, especially when you are relying on that person. We'll just see the options now. Disobedient wards, frustrated youth, career seeker, children settled in distant places, the ones who have job insecurity. The paragraph didn't talk about any disobedience or frustration and all, and not even about job insecurity. So here we can take career seeker children settled in distant places. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Next question. The year 1999 was proclaimed as International Year for the Aged. Option number 3 will be the right answer. Next question. Under section 105 of the Criminal Procedure Code, parents cannot be evicted from a house. So the statement is given here. Under law, parents cannot be evicted from a house without due process of law. This is under section 105 of Criminal Procedure Code. So the answer will be without due process of law. Option number 1 will be the right answer. So make sure that you find the same set of statements from the passage, then see the continuation and then check whether it is the same section that is mentioned in the question. So here they have asked parents cannot be evicted from a house. So the question is from here and they ask under section 105 of Criminal Procedure Code. So this is under Criminal Procedure Code. So they cannot be evicted without what? Without due process of law is the only bending phrase in that particular statement. So you have to mark it in this way. If you are finding it difficult to understand the English statement and then answer, I am just trying to tell you how you can take the answer even without understanding the meaning of that statement. So the other options, in any situation without submitting their will, unless their property is transferred to their legal heir, the passage didn't talk about anything. Next question. Who is empowered to give order to the concerned for the maintenance of their parents? Here we have a statement. A magistrate can order a person to maintain his or her old parents under the Maintenance of Parents Act. So who is empowered to give order? It is the magistrate. Option number 4 will be the right answer. So they didn't talk about retired judge or high court judge or the local sarpanch. If you don't understand the meaning of the question or the passage, once again I repeat, try to pick up the same words that follow in the option as well as in the question and map it to the same words that is given in the passage. That will be more than enough to answer such kind of questions. Next question. Which of the following act or section does give parents rights to seek relief from any kind of abuse? The last statement is talking about seeking relief from any kind of abuse. So the rights to seek relief from any kind of abuse is here. So which act is that? Domestic Violence Act. Option number 3, Domestic Violence Act will be the right answer. Section 105 of CPC, Criminal Procedure Code, is about evicting from a house. Section 98 of CPC is not discussed here. The Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act says aged parents can demand for maintenance from their children. Every act or every section given in the paragraph is dealing with one issue, and this question is talking about seeking relief from abuse. That will be done by Domestic Violence Act. With this we are completing comprehension as well as solutions of paper 1 questions. Thank you viewers.